Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. We also might get a knock on the door. Just try to ignore it. Woo. Okay, this is called Six Pack of Questions, and this is my guest Trey, and I asked him to do a six pack with me. So Trey, we're gonna start off with what's the worst gift you ever receive and have ever given?
Okay, the worst gift I ever received. Oh man. Worst gift I ever received. Man, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I'm not making this up and be like, liar. Somebody sent me a fruitcake one time.
Like in the mail?
Like in the mail. Like a mail fruitcake. Like
what's worse? Like someone actually hand making that shit and bringing it to your house, or one they send you in the mail?
Yes, that's what I say to that. The answer is yes.
Can you even get fruitcakes in the mail anymore? Like, will they do that?
Is that even a business model? Fruitcakes.com? I bet you it is.
I just want to know who's eating fruitcakes. That's what. Do you know a person that likes fruitcake?
I don't even know what's in fruitcake because I know it's supposed to be fruit and cake, but
there's no fruit.
I don't think there's either in there.
I think there's cake.
I think it's sawdust is what they.
You're like it's fake fruit and bread.
To all the fruitcake people that I've recently offended, don't cancel me. Okay,
you can cancel me. I don't know why y'all are eating this stuff. It's like there's nothing redeeming about fruitcake, is there?
No, not that I can think of. In case of an emergency, you could bang somebody upside the head with it. And maybe that's redeeming.
Every Christmas party I go to from now on, I'm taking fruitcake.
Okay, so hold on. You asked me a two-part question, right? Yeah. Also, what's the worst gift I've ever given?
What's the worst gift you've ever given?
Given somebody. I think I was struggling one time. It's just I had to get a gift from my mom. You know, like, hey, it's Mother's Day coming up. And we were one of those procrastinator families. And we don't procrastinate in that we're going to miss the deadline. It's just that we procrastinate right until the deadline.
Well, thank God for Amazon.
So well, this is before Amazon. This is like in the 80s. And my dad was like Sunday morning and he comes in. Okay, I'm not making this up.
No, it's such a dad thing though, too.
He comes in with the card and he's like,
hey, you gotta sign this.
He goes, shit, it's Mother's Day. He's like, we got to sign this thing. So he's the love Byron. So I'm like, write something. He goes, did you get mom a gift? I was like, oh yeah, I got her. I lied. I was like, yeah, I got her a gift. So I quickly made a coupon for a free 30 minutes with me.
Nice.
Because that's what every mom wants, right?
Yeah.
She wants the gift of just hanging out with her son. So I presented mom with a coupon to hang out with me.
She's like, how's this any different than when you're here every fucking day?
Every day. Yeah, all the time. When are you leaving? That's what I should have given her a gift for.
What is one thing that you have done that you would like to erase?
Okay. What's one thing that I've done that I would like to erase? I'm going to get real with you on this one.
Okay.
So, I've had some poor parenting moments in my life.
Person?
Me as a person, as a dad. I came from a household and it just where physical discipline was not only acceptable, it was the standard, which I think all of us at some point, maybe. I mean, I don't know if you lived under parents that spanked you, like if you misbehave.
I think where we're from in Texas, in the South here, and the generation of our parents, that was pretty normal.
Yeah. And so my mom came from, the generation before that, and her dad was like really physically like violent, if you will, and hit them and hit my grandma. And that was kind of part of the deal. She brought a little bit of that physicality into her parenting style. And so what might feel like a spanking would be a lot more than a spanking, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It would be very painful and unnecessary. And generationally, sometimes these things follow you and you don't realize it. And you catch yourself doing that. And I felt so bad, man. My boy was young. I think he was like maybe 3 or 4, but I apologized to him later on. I was like, hey, Jack, I just want you to know something, man. I'm sorry that I did that to you. I shouldn't have done that way to you. And I'm not going to do that to you again. And I've had a couple of those moments. I think all of us, maybe as parents, have had some moments that we could want to erase, but those are a few that I wish I could have gotten back.
I think the key in the, the question's kind of a setup, right? It's like, what, like, because everything's a learning opportunity, but that is the key, like the moments that you really would like to erase out of your life. Like, what did you learn from those moments?
Yeah.
And if you didn't, now they become wasteful.
Yeah.
Now it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Now it becomes something you have to carry.
Yeah.
But if you can process this and learn from it, like that's probably maybe why it was hard for you to come up with one.
Yeah.
Or to really or come to this one, you know what I mean? Just because like you probably have done a lot of processing around all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's changed my parenting style. And obviously, something I communicate with my kids. I'm like, hey, don't ever be a parent that you parent out of, a fear-based parenting model where you better behave. Otherwise there'll be bad consequences. It's like, let's do it differently. So it definitely has opened up some perspective for me.
One of my friends told me, I'd never forget this. He told me his mom told him, she was like, because he's a really good dude and he makes really smart decisions. He's a firefighter and EMT and whole thing. And like, a scary situation doesn't frazzle this dude at all. And I said, like, man, what'd your parents tell you? He said, they always just told me, just go out and make good decisions. And I was like, that was it? Like, that was the whole secret to life? It's just, but it really is. Like when you go out into the world, just try to make good decisions,
Exactly.
All right. Is justice or forgiveness more important?
Bro, I'm going to go with forgiveness on this one.
I feel like you have to,
I'm going to go with forgiveness on this one.
Okay, but are you going to
the model that I follow is going to be a little more of a forgiveness. There's justice. I'm just not the one that's supposed to extract it.
Okay, could we, would this be a fair statement? Is there justice in forgiveness?
Absolutely. Because what's the opposite of forgiveness? Bitterness and resentment. And what are you carrying those around for? Those are heavy.
They're not going to get you to justice, that's for sure.
No, there's going to be injustice, and it's all going to be impacting you. The people that wrong you, they don't wake up and think about you the next day. They're just moving on with their life. You're the one obsessed with the fact that you were wronged or they did this and they should have done that and blah, blah, blah. They should be different, and just be like, yeah, you know what? I forgive them for that.
Well, they're living rent free in your head.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Come on, man. What else you got in there, Scotty? Living rent free in your head? I'm taking that one.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I stole it from somebody else. Okay, let's do this one. I put an order, but I wasn't really sure about it. What do you complain about more than anything else?
Okay.
Children their kids cleaning up their rooms.
Man, my kids are actually really good about cleaning up their rooms. What do I complain about?
Does your wife have an annoying habit?
I bet you that if Casey was here, she would be like, I'll tell you what he complains about. This is my pet peeve. So it is in a way something that I complain about, but it's not something that the world hears me complain about. So, okay, I have to get my aside.
You don't seem like a guy that's doing a lot of complaining.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but you got like, here's the fairness of it.
Right.
Like you are a very positive guy, but I mean, you're a human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like
and
you can not like traffic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah.
so I'm not trying to
I can complain about bad drivers, but I'm the firstborn. And if you follow any stuff with the Enneagram, I'm an Enneagram type 1. So I'm a reformer, which means the mindset in which I operate with life is the even better if mindset. This would be even better if. Mm-hmm. And so I'm oftentimes thinking about it would be even better if, till I can get it to the standard that I think it can't possibly be any better. And then I just try to hold it to the standard again and again and again. So one of those things for me, it comes back to this thing we were talking about where it's like, hey, eat dinner with your kids when you can. I like for all the food to hit the table at the same time warm. I don't want my broccoli cooling off while somebody's still finishing the pasta. If you know what I mean.
At a restaurant?
No, at home.
Okay.
So like when we're cooking a meal tonight at dinner, I'm the guy going, okay, we got to make sure all these finish at the same time. I know bro, you're in my head now. And if they don't, I'm not going to say anything about it, but there's going to be a different spirit of dad at the table. This kind of Yeah, I'm eating cold broccoli. Like, why am I eating cold broccoli? Like,
You just casually like grab the broccoli bowl and slip up from the table to go stick in the microwave. Like nothing to see here.
I will I'll turn the oven on warm. I'll be moving things around. Like it's like almost like a game for me. But I do complain, and I especially get hacked if like everything's coming together, and then my daughter walks out and she's like, what about my mac and cheese? And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, now we got mac and cheese. We start all over again. I'm like, this is it. We're throwing in the towel tonight. We're going to eat tomorrow.
Okay. What are the largest obstacles preventing you from realizing your dreams?
They're self-imposed. Yeah. Obstacles. That's what they are.
They're always
mine. It's always you. Yeah. You know, you're your own biggest obstacle.
It's your dreams.
Yeah, right. They're dreams that God's given me, and he's just like, let's go do these together. And it's like, do I believe that I can?
The sacrifice.
Am I willing to sacrifice what it takes in order to achieve this dream? Am I willing to keep going when things don't look like they're going the way that I want them to? And so, yeah, man, that's the biggest obstacle for me. I don't think it's an external obstacle that the world's presenting. I really feel like it's just, it's more internal.
Well, let me tell you this. There is nobody that will be a bigger obstacle for you than you.
Yeah.
You could point out everybody else and how they're screwing you over, but like at the end of the day, you're your biggest obstacle because that's how you view that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it's already starting on a bad foot from the very beginning,
Yeah.
All right. This is question number 6. Yeah. This is 6. Yeah. All right. Okay. I want you to think about this for a second. Okay. What would you most like to ask God? Do you already know? Yeah. Do you ask him every day, or is it
no? It's just one of those like practical questions. Okay, so I'm gonna do it.
What? Like how do you Surrey? What do you?
No, I want to know, how did Noah get 2 of everything on that ark? Two animals, 2 wasps, 2 grasshoppers, 2 camels, 2, Noah had an ark that he built. Okay. I felt like I lost you for a minute, man. I felt like Noah's one of those things that like, I don't even know what I know about religion, but I've heard about the boat thing. Yeah. The 2x2.
You're like, do you know who Noah is? Like, no. But I was thinking, my thought was, okay, so we'll say it gets everything on there.
Yeah.
Okay. How does he keep them separated from like messing each other up and getting in fights?
Right. They take a dump. Who's cleaning that up?
And like were they sectioned off like all the
management program,
all the lions together in like one spot? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did something happen on the ark, and that's how we got new species of lions?
Right.
Or what? You know what I mean?
What happened?
Yeah.
Like, what happens on the ark stays in the ark. That's the problem with the ark. You just don't know. It's like, but that would be one thing that I would, I'd want to ask God. And the other thing I would, well, anyway, you didn't give me 2, but if I was asking God another one,
it's my show. I'll do whatever I want.
Man, I want to know why you didn't let Moses in the promised land. Moses was basically the pastor of, the nation of Israel for 40 years in the wilderness. He went through so much loss. Like his friends died and their kids growing up, and he's now taking care of their kids as they're wandering around waiting for this land that's been promised to them. And he gets right to the end, and he has a moment with God where God gives him a specific, thing that he needs to do, and he chooses to do it his own way. And God says, yeah, you're not going in the promised land. You're going to look at it, but you're never going to go in it. And I know that was Moses' destiny, but if I was sitting across the table from God like we're doing right now, on probably more than a moderately good podcast, a heavenly podcast.
Well, I think God's podcast would be better than mine, right?
Well, I mean, it's universal distribution, right? So there's that. Like and subscribe by who? Everybody, because that's what I do.
It's like cable. Look, look what I got. You know what I mean?
Talking about, don't waste my time. But it would be like, man, yeah. Why didn't Moses go in the promised land? I'd like to know that.
Well, I mean, it kind of sounds like he made a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, choices do have consequences, and he did.
I mean, it's not like God was like, like you can't come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think, and I'm not trying to put it in my own life, but I just think about all the times that I've been an idiot, and God's like, that's cool. I'm going to give you this thing called grace, and we're going to keep going anyway. And I don't say that I'm not trying to make this like a theology thing. I don't think he was withholding anything. I just love to ask God, like,
I think on some level, all this is predestined. If you kind of believe in that way, maybe Moses and God knew that was the right choice, even though it doesn't feel right to us as outsiders.
Yeah.
They knew that those are the right choices. Like that's what sometimes, like when you're thinking about regular people, that's what you have to believe is the choices that they make for themselves are the best choices for them.
Yeah.
It ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's so good.
Yeah. And it's sometimes that's again, we can come back to your ego and the whole thing. That's, set it down.
Sit it down.
Like, what are you doing?
Simmer down now. That's what he was trying to tell
Simmer
him.
down now, ego. What are you doing? Hey, man, I appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
All right.